Democrats have sent a counter-offer to Republicans on immigration enforcement reforms that they want in exchange for a vote to fund the Department of Homeland Security. So today marks day 4 of this Democrat-led partial government shutdown. And joining me now is Washington Stand reporter Casey Harper, who's been tracking today's story. Casey, let's start with this one. Is any deal going to be reached anytime soon to put an end to this government shutdown?
Yeah, sorry to disappoint, Jody, but I can almost guarantee there will be a day 5 of the shutdown and probably 6 and even 7 as lawmakers are out of town. And it's unclear whether Democrat and Republican leadership will be able to nail down an agreement this week while that recess is going on. Now, after funding lapsed, which began on Saturday morning, most TSA and Border Patrol employees are now working without pay, at least those that are willing to work. Now, even if a deal is struck, congressional leaders will need time to come back into session. That can be about 48 hours. Now, here is President Trump yesterday talking to reporters when he was asked if he's okay with any of the Democrat demands.
I don't like some of the things they're asking for. We're going to protect law enforcement. We're going to protect ICE. You know, they're part of the whole system that is working. In Washington, D.C. now is considered a very safe city. When I took over, it was a city that we were losing 2-3 people a week.
Now, Republicans and Democrats have agreed on some provisions like body cameras on ICE agents, which is actually already funded, ironically enough. But on other reforms, they're at a standstill, Jody.
Wow. All right, Casey, thank you for that. Let me shift gears with you. We've got a couple of people who were killed and 3 injured yesterday at a shooting at an ice hockey rink in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. And the shooter reportedly identifies as transgender. Is this becoming more and more of a pattern? And what's the latest in the developments here?
Yeah, it's a really tragic story and a troubling trend we're seeing unfold. So some of the details. 56-year-old Robert Dorgan is the suspect here who reportedly opened fire during a hockey game. Now, police are calling it a family dispute as he killed his ex-wife and shot 3 of his children, tragically. Now, police say the suspect is also dead after turning the gun on himself, but a closer look at court records for Dorgan reveal a pattern of disputes before this, including other relatives, as well as allegations that his gender transition, as it's called by some, it fueled much of that discord. Now, according to police, the suspect, whose first name is Robert, also went by Roberta. Legal records reveal that Dorgan's then wife also noted that the gender reassignment surgery and narcissism plus personality disorder traits was part of the reason for filing the divorce. So we don't have any more details on anything more specific on a motive, but you're absolutely right, Jody, that this is a really alarming trend we're seeing.
It really is. All right, before I let you go, Casey, it seems to me the tensions are certainly thickening between the U.S. and Iran. And Iranian state media has reported the partial closure now of the Strait of Hormuz amid the talks that are taking place now between the U.S. and Iran. Can you walk us through some of the latest developments that are taking place in those talks?
Sure. Well, this is an important week for these talks as they are continuing in Geneva over this long-running nuclear dispute. But as you mentioned, just hours after the talks began, we saw some pretty interesting footage come from Iranian state media, which showed the Revolutionary Guard doing drills in and around the Strait of Hormuz, which effectively closes it. And this is a very important waterway that's crucial for oil shipments. Now, Tehran, they've threatened in the past to shut down the strait to commercial shipping if it's attacked, which would be pretty impactful for the global economy. It would choke off about 1/5 of global oil that flows out into the rest of the world and significantly drive up crude oil prices. Now, an Iranian foreign minister told reporters that Iran and the U.S. do have an understanding on some of the, quote, guiding principles for their indirect talks so far, but that is a far cry from an actual deal, Jody.
All right, Casey, as always, thank you so much for giving us a broad view of what's happening out there.